Woo! Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. Welcome to Americana. I'm Willie, Montague.
And I'm Shakea, Hinton.
Well, as you know, if you're looking for safe, watered-down commentary, you are most definitely in the wrong place. We challenge narratives, expose the noise, and talk about what actually matters. Trump. Buckle up. It's time to cut through the chaos. This is Americana. All right. I don't know why I'm saying this so subtle, but nonetheless, we're going to get to today the decline of American men and the left's role in it, and they definitely have a role in it. The shift in the Department of Education, snap, money threat, welfare as political weapons, and Luigi, why do y'all do this? Y'all know what these people, Magione.
Oh my gosh.
And Tyler Robinson, the similarities and difference of these two men. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's happening with the decline of American men. American men are disappearing from school, disappearing from the workforce, and disappearing from purpose. And Democrats, this your people, Shakea, would rather talk about pronouns. They just came up with a new one, than the crisis wiping out an entire generations. So I know you always say I say this, so let's just talk about it. Because Democrats have just come out with a new pronoun, and here we are with men being wiped up off of the planet just by this being, the left is just trying to turn the men into.
Well, what's this new pronoun? Because I haven't heard of this, but I'm glad you're keeping up with what us Dems are doing.
I got to, because it's so much. I can't even pronounce the word, but what it is basically where you are more attracted to women, but you also leave it open for men. It's something bias, something. It's weird. It's some long name, and they literally just came up with a whole new flag and everything.
Okay, well, good for them.
Do you see that there's a decline in men in the United States?
I don't see that there is a decline in men. I would ask you to rephrase your question.
You don't think that there's a decline in
birthing of men?
Well, that actually, okay. So we're seeing more men that are being incarcerated.
Okay.
We're seeing more men that are not in the homes. And then you see more men who are being basically made to feel like they are not needed for the sake of wanting to have pronouns to replace men, because now they want to take on another role. And I think that's a decline of men.
I don't think it's a decline of men. I think
it is. If you were born a man and want to go, it'd be called them.
No. And to be fair, pronouns have been around for a very long time. You and I grew up in a generation where we had to address our teachers or professors as he or him or she or her. That hasn't changed. The only difference is folks are demanding that you respect what they consider themselves as a certain gender. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure why most not leftists, but like most Republicans fetishize or have an emphasis on someone's sexual preference or what they do behind closed doors.
I don't think it's what happens behind closed doors, but I have had a situation where I have called someone and stated what I saw, which was a woman. Mm-hmm. They got upset and said, that's not what I am.
Okay.
Okay.
As a gentleman, your next response should have been, my apologies. What should I refer to you as?
My next response is, I know you're a woman. You have.
So that's where the disrespect comes in.
No, it's not.
It is disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful, because I feel like, why do I have to take the initiative to go over and beyond to identify with you?
It's not over and beyond. It is a preference. That is like me calling you out your name. Your name is the name that your mom gave you, right? You identify as Willie Montague. If you say, Shakea, I don't want you to call me Willie Montague, I want you to call me W. But I'm going to oblige by your
Shakea,
preference.
You know, that's a stretch.
It's not a stretch.
That's a name. That's not talking about a whole gender. you cannot change the gender that you were given from birth. We just have to be. No, you may chop some things off, but you cannot change it because at the end of the day, biology is biology.
And I don't
you
lose
are what
sleep.
you are.
I don't lose sleep over anybody in either party who wants me to call them by a particular pronoun.
I lose sleep because I'm tired of it and I'm sick of it. And you out there should be sick of it because our children should not have to be introduced to this foolishness.
So how do you equate that, pronouns, to there being a decline in men? Because
most of these men, I know where it came from. I believe it came from, there was this meme one time, we're gonna move on. There was this meme one time that had a woman saying she don't want a man. The little girl says, I don't want the mama said, I don't want a man. The little girl said, yeah, follow behind the mother. And the little boy said, I don't want to be a man. That was the beginning of it, is where I believe through society, people watching these women belittle men so much to men be like, forget it. I'm just gonna be whatever I want to be. Now, y'all may not agree with that, but that's what decline is. Y'all don't want to agree with it because most of it is happening in the Negro household. But nonetheless, let's talk about the shift in the Department of Education. The Department of Education is shifting its programs to the Department of Labor. So let's talk about it. There's a shift.
So there is a shift, not necessarily in the decline of men. The male species is still amongst us. But I heard something recently about the Department of Education shifting over to the Department of Labor, and it's alarming. It's alarming because now we are talking about funding, federal funding, not necessarily going directly to the schools that need the most resources. We are now shifting and allocating all of those resources and funding to the Department of Labor, which would then equate for children to work at a lower age. Right now, you can start working at what, like 14 years old. When my grandma, great-grandma, or my great-grandma started working, they were what, probably 7, 8 years old in the cotton fields doing all those sorts of things and jobs, right? We are now regressing as a country. Do you think that this is appropriate for our school-age children?
I think that learning life skills is appropriate. And I believe that if we can teach them about proper finances, what it means, because what is chores other than us giving them a task to do in return for making something. So as far as it being labor sounds, intense, but I would go back to this as far as the Department of Education, that should have been eradicated a long time ago. That should be the responsibility of the states, not the federal government.
I hear that. But that is now being masked. It's going to still be the same effect. You're saying that it should be at the hands of the state. It's just being channeled in a different direction. The federal government is still going to funnel money through the Department of Labor, through federal funding. It's not just going to be about the states and what they dictate about education.
Wouldn't it be good to look at the Department of Labor or in education as, again, a life skill? Because essentially, we have kids, as they call them, the COVID children, who are way more smarter than some of the average kids would have been when I grew up. Because of technology. So now it's time to start instilling, not for them to go and labor and work, but just instilling life skills, period.
I would agree, because when you and I were in school, we had home ec.
Yes,
right? Remember
gone.
that? Yeah. That's completely gone. Yeah. We had various parenting classes. We had sewing. We had all of those things. Those programs have since been eradicated, which leaves the brunt of the community or parents to fill in that gap. Because times have changed, the demands of the households have changed, the dynamics of the households have changed. Most parents are not able to teach those kids, some of their kids, those basic skills. So then, what say ye?
Well, I believe they're not able to keep because they're so busy, and this is why we got to get back to the family dynamics, the nuclear family. And I'm all about strategy, and this is as common as we're going to be today. But I'm all about strategy, where we come to the table and we say, okay, we got to find a way to restore this family dynamic where we're teaching these things to our kids so that we do not have the issues that we're having in the school. And I'm big being against the schools teaching certain things to the kids.
I agree. We would agree on that.
So that's why I think.
And I do want to say that most Black families are now coming back to the nucleus. There are a lot of two-parent households that are coming back into the Black community, and so shout outs to those individuals who are Going back to the
And I'm
basics.
so proud of you that you finally left the LBJ
You know
great
what?
society that incentivized the welfare system and caused the Negro to be continuing to go down the thing. I am so glad that the niggas are finally
Why is
rising
it difficult
up
for
and
you
doing
to
what we need to do.
admonish the Black community in which you come from?
I just said it. I'm so grateful that we're doing something different.
It was intertwined with a lot of...
I'm sorry, I intertwined with it. I've been Black all my life. I'm dark-skinned, and at night, I'm chocolate deity. But I have to say...
Chocolate deity.
But I just have to say this. We got to go to a quick break. I'm sorry, you guys. We have to go to take a quick commercial break. But don't move. We'll be right back discussing SNAP. Y'all know some of y'all get that money. All right, threat, welfare, and political weapons, and then Luigi, Magione, and Tyler. Sorry, Luigi. I got it wrong. Tyler Robinson, the similarities and difference of these two men. Y'all stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back to Americana. SNAP money threat. Something is going on with these snaps. The administration may withhold SNAP administrative funds from Democrat-run states that refuse to share recipient data. If Democrat states won't prove welfare accountability, taxpayer money gets cut. Accountability over freebies. Shakea?
Yes, sir.
These people don't want to share the information. Why do you think that is?
What people? What states? Honestly, this is my first time hearing this. What states are withholding recipient data information?
Most of the Democrat-ran state. I'll get that to you guys. But most of the Democrat, but it's because this is what they feel like. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell y'all why. I believe because it's always it's them versus Trump. If the Biden administration, even if it was the Bush administration that asked for it, I believe that data would have been released. But because it seems like Trump is dodging this information, now it's we're going to not give this information. It doesn't matter. Because I believe they think that he's coming in to personally attack these people and take their food stamps away from them.
So why would a sitting president withhold basic humanity needs such as food from families in order to prove a point? I'm not sure how accurate of data that is, especially because, well, Trump is known for threatening to withhold funding from various states if they don't bend the knee. We've seen that with him in recent years when he's like, you know, if you don't do X, Y, and Z for me, I'm going to withhold FEMA funding from you. That is literally a power struggle. Not even a power struggle, but it's just like he's just so full of himself that he would rather cause harm to the American people.
But I don't know if it's for himself or as a way to be able to let him know that I'm going to win this arm wrestle. I don't think that Trump would actually do it as much as to let him know that, you know, we need accountability, and that's what has been missing in the past administration.
My mind is boggled. Who in their right mind, which governor is withholding federal information from the sitting president in order to feed the constituents that put them into office?
Shakea, some of these same,
what would they gain
some
from
of
that?
these same mayors, commissioners, and governors didn't even want him to come in with the National Guard to protect their cities.
But why would you need National Guard? And that's another topic. Let's stick to SNAP.
But that's
really
it's similar in regard to when he wants to come in to get the proper information to make sure that fundings are not misappropriated and used properly. And then when he wants to protect it, it's a problem because it's coming from Trump.
No, I don't think it's just a problem because it's just coming from Trump. Trump has proven time and time again that if he gives you something, he has something bigger behind his back. So if he's threatening to remove food, what else would he threaten to remove to ensure that the American people have what they need?
This sounds like a conspiracy.
And to your, it's not a conspiracy. Another thing, Will, food is a basic need for every human, right? Did you know that SNAP recipients, white people, are mostly the recipients of SNAP? So when you say that the Democrats are withholding data, information for SNAP benefits, I am just really shocked that this is a partisan issue. Food should not be a partisan issue.
It's not, but it is. Most things are. And to your regard, I didn't mention any color in this particular matter.
I did.
Exactly. I'm just making sure. So
I did because you have this notion you've mentioned before, not on today's segment, but in times past. You make it seem as if black and brown people are the only recipients of SNAP, and that is not true.
I know white people.
Over 36, 37% of white folks receive SNAP benefits.
I'm sure.
So that's not a partisan issue. It is a humanitarian issue.
The reason it became a partisan issue is because it seems when it comes to Democrat-ran cities that they are the most saying that something that Republicans are stripping away for these individuals that need it. They don't care about the poor. They don't care about those who are less fortunate. And that's when it becomes a party issue.
But it's true.
It's not. If they did not, if the Republican Party didn't care about it, we wouldn't have been the party that freed the slaves.
We're not talking about that, Will.
Well, I mean, just saying.
We have since changed. We are now talking about the Republicans who currently run this country. We're talking about the MAGA and the insurrectionists who continue to demonize the streets of the United States.
Not demonize.
Now I'm trolling you because y'all have a tendency to do this, and I'm going to admit I am trolling Will right now.
Not demonizing the streets.
Yeah, y'all do that.
We are freedom marchers. We are not
That's what you call it.
We are freedom marchers.
So if y'all are freedom marchers, we need to bring that the Black Panther. How about that?
You can bring the Black Panther.
The Panther Party. We can bring that back. Don't you put your fists up.
For the people.
We don't claim you at all.
For the people.
At all.
You're doing it for the people.
Ciao.
All right, so let's talk about Luigi and Tyler Robertson in similarities. Within a year, we've seen two high-profile murderers that caught national attention, given the industry and the person assassinated. Why do Republican leaders frame one killing as evidence of a broader cultural threat, but not the other?
I would ask that question for you, my dear.
The Luigi situation was about what was the
United Healthcare CEO.
Okay, and you saying that the Republicans praised that?
No. So both murders of the United Healthcare CEO and Charlie Kirk were within a year of each other, right? So Tyler Robinson was painted as this radical leftist who decided to kill a political figure, which he wasn't a political figure. He was a podcaster.
Y'all, he was a political figure.
He was not a political figure.
And Tyler Robinson's not the one that killed Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I would have to agree with you on that one. There's a little conspiracy there too, but whatever. But he was demonized as like this leftist who had just went off the rails. Then you have Luigi, who murdered, allegedly, the CEO of United Healthcare, and he was demonized as just someone who just went off the beaten path. Why is that?
Well, we look at it, and I do believe that was a beaten path, but with Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk, he was indeed a political figure. Anytime that whether you are in politics running or you are an elected official or in that regard, you are considered a political figure.
He was a podcaster, an esteemed podcaster.
Thank you for saying that he was
an esteemed podcaster, yes.
But with that, to that magnitude where he was, do you think that that was something that we shouldn't have taken more? Most of the people didn't even know who the CEO of the United Healthcare.
We typically don't know who the CEOs of these major companies
are. So, of course, it's not going to have the same weight as someone like Charlie Kirk.
It should.
Why?
Because you are dealing with people.
They're just going to get a new CEO. You can't get a new Charlie Kirk.
They did. Well, his wife is doing a number of things with the sitting vice president, but that's a topic for another day.
Oh, my God. We got a lot of conspiracies
Erica,
today.
It's not a conspiracy. If I ever ran my fingers through somebody's hands, you know what, that's another.
They said
we ain't going to get into that.
They said she does that and hugs everyone to see.
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
Woman of God.
Now they out here trying to say she's having a baby.
Woman of God, it's inappropriate. But anyway, I think the two men were painted to be left extremists. And to be clear, factually, they are both registered voters, but they do not claim a party. So for the media and for the Republicans to say that it is all the Democrats, they are leftists, they went to the extreme, that's false information that should stop being spread. That's second. Second thing is, we see these two white men who took it upon themselves to allegedly end the cycle that they have been witness to and privy to within like the most recent years. Charlie Kirk, although I've said this before, I don't agree with in the manner in which he died. Okay, he should not. No. I don't think he should have been murdered or silenced either. I just think folks are tired. Folks are tired.
I'm tired too. I don't go out there and try to slice up no leftists.
Folks are tired.
People are tired. You know why people are tired? Because they don't want accountability and they don't want truth.
They don't want accountability and truth.
And
that
Charlie
is what Charlie Kirk was bringing?
brought accountability and truth.
Oof.
And when accountability
is
and
Turning
truth,
Point paying you?
When people bring with accountability and truth, the conviction strikes your heart and you become devious.
Okay, so here's where the line is being crossed now, because no one talked about morality. You brought the line of conviction. There is no conviction. We are not talking about Christianity and all the things.
I'm not saying, I didn't say anything about Christian. I'm talking about
But when you use terminology like conviction.
But we all should have a natural conviction, whether you are Christian or not.
Conviction of what? Right and wrong? I agree.
So that is a moral compass, whether you are atheist, Buddhist, or Christian, you should have a moral compass.
You should.
Right.
Do you have a moral compass?
I have, absolutely. And I know 100% sure that these radical leftists are demons. And I know that Charlie Kirk stood for truth and accountability.
You want to talk about
truth and
demons.
accountability shows up, people will lose their, because they don't want to take accountability.
You want to talk about demons. So if we're talking about demons,
here we go.
We can also paint the picture of Trump possibly being the Antichrist.
Trump is not the Antichrist.
We can talk about that. We got like 40-some seconds left on the clock.
It's not even biblically sound.
You're saying
you know who might be the Antichrist?
that the leftists are demons.
Mayor-elect.
Oh, Montague.
Montague is the one who is the Antichrist.
So
this is what I talk about.
We talked the other day about Trump using all these different slurs. He just recently called somebody retarded and all those things, and you're just following right in the footsteps of your daddy.
Well, I thank you, Papa.
Go ahead and just close the show on now.
That's a wrap for today's episode on Americana. I'm Willie Montague.
I'm the leftist.
Thank you for choosing Real Conversations over Manufactured Narratives. Join us tomorrow on AFRO TV. Same time, same place. Until then, stay alert, stay fearless, and never back down from the truth. Have a good night.